This is a mega video from Andre's garage. Why?
Because Christmas has come early for me, and that is because, see, I know it's bizarre. No, the Easter Jeep Safari is coming up, and that's an event that we absolutely adore. We go to every year, and we have the vehicles that will be featured at the Easter Jeep Safari event.
Yeah, this is a preview, but Nathan, Roman, and Tommy, you lucky dogs, are going to Moab in person. Actually, tomorrow you're leaving, right?
That is correct.
And you'll be driving all these things. But we wanted to give you a quick preview of what's coming because this is a lot of really cool stuff.
That's right. So we're going to just jump right into it. And first of all, we're going to start out with the Jeep Magneto 2.0 concept. Now, if you recall, last year we drove one of these, and it was the first Magneto. And what it basically is a Jeep Wrangler that has been hollowed out, and they put electric components in there, hooked up to, get this, a 6-speed manual transmission. Just like last year, it is that vehicle. However, they've done several things to make it scary and awesome at the same time. For one thing, propulsion. Peak amperage has more than doubled. It is now 600 amps. The 2.0 makes 625 horsepower and 850 pound-feet of torque. According to Jeep, with this calibration, 0 to 60 can happen in as little as 2 seconds.
What? Oh, okay. Can I stop you for just a second? Because my brain has just been exploding.
Yeah, I know, there's a lot.
But here's the thing. I saw the Magneto 1, the original Magneto you drove.
Right.
I was jealous
Yeah.
because I wasn't there. But when this was teased, right, this year, I thought to myself, oh my goodness, this is going to be like a production or
That's what I
almost
thought
production
too.
version, right? 4-door. But it's not. It's still the 2-door.
Yeah, it's kind of curious.
And what I wanted to point out this.
Yeah.
I wanted to point at the gigantic axles, heavy-duty truck axles that they have under this.
That's right. And on top of that, they also have there's a lot of carbon fiber. They have a unique drive shaft, 40-inch tires, 3-inch lift. It's a real beast in terms of just its regular thing. And one thing that you may not notice is that unlike the vehicle it's based on, it actually has an extended wheelbase, and that reduces its overhang, front and rear approach and departure angles. So it's like an off-road beast. And the last one we drove just had incredible amounts of torque and felt like it can go over anything. This one we will be driving, and hopefully they'll let us open it up a little bit. Bear in mind that this thing is worth millions, and so they really don't want us bashing them.
It's a one-off concept, basically, right now.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So fantastic vehicle from last year. I'm hoping it'll be just as good, if not better. By the way, for those of you who are curious, yes, it still does have the manual transmission, but first gear has changed from 513 to 336. Very different ratio, so it's going to be a very different driving experience.
Well, it's probably because they up the power, right?
I'm guessing that's exactly what
you said. Like what, 650 approximately horsepower, 850 pounds.
625 horsepower. But
well, it doesn't matter. It's over
I know,
600. It's
seriously.
insane because it's electrified, right?
Yeah.
But it still has traditional axles, so that's the thing.
Yeah.
So they're not putting the motors like in the wheels
No.
in the axles.
So the motor actually goes directly to the transmission, just like a regular gas engine would as well.
Yeah.
And then from there, things change. And batteries, by the way, I don't know if you have a profile view of this, but the batteries are under the hood where the engine would be. They are where the gas tank would be, where the exhaust would be, and underneath the back here as well. So it's balanced out, and it's heavy. This thing is, going close to 2 tons, I think. So altogether, very unique vehicle. Now, I know you're talking, why is this not the production version? It is coming.
It's probably too early. I mean,
Exactly.
Maybe I was just getting ahead of myself.
Tommy thinks that the next Wrangler platform will be the one that uses, that's Tommy's opinion. I think that this is a teaser because they're using some new custom built, it's an axial flex electric motor. This type of stuff may find its way into a very near production version, but I agree with Andre. I think that the production version will be the 4-door, and the reason why, more room for batteries.
Yeah,
makes
more
total sense.
and people too.
And people too.
Yeah.
This thing is really built for just 2 people.
So maybe we're seeing some of the mechanical components like the motor, maybe the 800-volt battery system, right? So maybe that's what they're showcasing. But I want to switch gears and not to this.
We're going to cover that in just a second.
Yeah. Where's the other guy?
Up here.
Oh, that's him. What's this guy's name?
That's Bob.
What?
Say hi to Bob. No, seriously, that is the Jeep Bob concept. And what you're looking at here is something very interesting because, especially for truck people, rumor has it you are one, this is based on a Jeep Gladiator. However, what you're looking at here is a much shorter Jeep Gladiator. What they did was they cut 12 inches off the vehicle, and they also removed this pillar here
Yes.
and created what is a much more off-road capable, very small pickup truck because that bed has significantly shrunk.
Yes.
So this whole thing is just built for serious off-roading, but it still has some Jeep Gladiator DNA.
Yeah, so I was looking into this, right? Remember, they teased it, and I think you wrote about it on TFLtruck.com.
I did indeed.
And we thought it was going to be like a two-door, like a short cab, maybe a longer bed. But of course, they tricked us again. but so this is like the ultimate off-road version of the Gladiator.
Yes,
really.
it is. And what I want to ask them, and you're going to have to wait until we're actually there in a few days, is whether or not this cab has been shortened, because to me it does look like it's been shortened.
A little bit to me as well, because normally it would be like an extra door there, and it does look shortened. But look, once again, heavy-duty axles, so they're going beefy again, once again, and the diesel under the hood, right?
That is correct. So it's got the Dynatrac Pro Rock 60 axles, if I can speak English.
Yes.
A lot of extra stuff in here, including just massive king coil, 3-inch suspension lift, king coil bypass shocks, the full winch, diesel engine. So they rarely change the propulsion system on these things. So
They're usually factory propulsion systems, right?
at the very most, they'll put in like the exhaust thing, which is from JPP. Now, by the way, JPP, Jeep Performance Products, and Mopar, they put a lot of components on these vehicles, so you'll see them throughout. And we'll talk about that a little bit more with some of the other vehicles.
And these are the parts you can buy right now, most of them, right?
Or they're testing audience/customer perspective on what they're building and whether or not they want to build it.
So Bob is going to be another huge one. So please get underneath with Nathan, ask them about the cab length, all of that.
Oh, without a doubt.
Okay.
Yeah, Bob
So
is interesting. Now,
where should we go next?
so this is Bob's cousin. This
Is this Jim?
No, this is called the Decoder. Now, they try to be clever.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I mean, they really did try to be clever.
Sorry.
So the Decoder, as Andre played, he's like my dad used to be with reverse and remote. The Decoder is very interesting. They've been using this for buzz for a little while now. The whole purpose of this vehicle is to showcase Jeep Performance products, Jeep Performance part products, and Mopar products, and what you can do with a Gladiator to make it a lot more off-road capable, but without having to cut the frame or anything else like that, like they did with the other one. Now, what they did, and you'll see little white things stuck here and there.
Yeah.
If you can see that, they
On
have
the hood?
QR codes absolutely thrown all over it.
Oh,
Hence
I see.
the Decoder. Get it? Decoder. Yeah, that's them being clever.
Okay.
Almost every component there that is something that you can order from GPP or Mopar.
Well, that makes sense. Like the mirrors, the hood, the
Yeah,
bumpers,
you could clearly see like everything
the seats,
here,
right?
Right, the doors.
Everything, the doors.
Right. So that's its purpose. It's kind of a really cool way of doing, it's basically a rolling showcase. And there are other vehicles that are like that, but this particular one, because they have QR codes thrown throughout it, I mean, everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's their whole purpose. They just want you to click on it and, That makes total sense. And it looks like it's going to be really cool. I still love Gladiators. So the opportunity to drive one like this, which, I mean, has the big axles, has the big lift, has the big tires.
Are you going to be
just
here, by the
insane.
way? Are you going to be in
Yep,
this
actually,
area?
this area that you're seeing being filmed is the area we've been going to for the past 3 years. I'm pretty sure we'll be there again. And the reason why is it's a controlled environment. Jeep is able to make sure that we are within sight. There's some slight obstacles that you can test, a little bit of articulation, but you're not pushing these things too much. Remember, they're worth a lot of money. And after we drive them and we take them around and have some fun and do our videos, they're going to be on display at Walker Drugs, which is in the middle of Moab, Utah, basically downtown Moab, for everybody to walk around and see. So they have to be in one piece. We've actually seen.
So you can jump them and stuff like that.
We've been at events where things like that have happened, and they've been pretty cross with other journalists who have destroyed them. Yes,
By the
that's
way, dual exhaust.
Yes,
pipe.
and that also has QRs on it.
Did they have to paint it red though?
Yes,
I mean,
they
really?
did. Yeah, because it's red gets your eye and blah 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 blah. I'm not a big fan of the color.
So that's a decoder. Where
Yes.
should we go next? Maybe here, because this really piqued my interest.
Yes, that's the 41. So let me get to the 41. That is every year, almost every year, Jeep pays homage to World War II, Jeep Willys, all that other stuff.
Military
And
roots, basically,
it's
right?
military roots, precisely. Now, this one's unique because it's based on the 4xe platform. And as such, it doesn't really look like a 4xe, does it? I mean, normally they'll throw in blue and green hooks and stuff like that, whatever. No. This one really does look like it's, military ready, but it has a lot of special components on there. And I did want to talk about a couple things that I thought were particularly cool. First of all, this is basically a Jeep Wrangler 4xe. There's not a whole lot going on. I mean, the powertrain is exactly the same. Everything here that you see can be ordered pretty much. So that means that you guys can actually build something like this.
So we were fortunate enough, we've already driven these, right?
Mm-hmm.
You did a video where we did Bronco versus a 4xe Wrangler, and you drove it off-road in electric mode. You drove it on-road in electric mode. You can buy them now, right?
Yes.
2-liter turbo, electric motor, 8-speed automatic, 17 kilowatt hour battery approximately.
Well, you can't use all of it, but yeah.
Right. So, but this is just another look. This is what you can do with it.
Right. This one has a 2-inch lift. Now, by the way, once again, everything here you can get from Jeep pretty much. So it has the JPP 2-inch lift, 35-inch mud terrain tires. Now, these are really cool. I love these. This is 17-inch, and the company is called 1552. So you spell it 15 and 52. These wheels, which look like Steelies, but they're really not. And
they look cool. They look like retro, but really nice.
Right.
Yeah.
So this pays homage to World War II Willys Jeeps. I think it looks like $1 million. I would drive that proudly. I don't care if someone goes, I want to be, whatever. I don't care. It's awesome. And there's other stuff on there, and we'll show the details when we get to the event. That's part of that is half the fun of this, is the details on these vehicles that you're not seeing in this. We will get to those when we cover each one, and that one will definitely be covered. How about we go to the Grand Cherokee?
That's another big one.
Yeah.
Huge one.
We'll hit these other ones too, I promise.
Okay, so this is the guy you're talking about, right?
Yes. Now, this is a very interesting vehicle because you may have heard rumors that people have been testing out the brand new Jeep Grand Cherokee PHEV.
Where did you hear this?
And indeed they have.
So
let's talk about this one. This one is a special one-off concept that they put together, and you may notice a few things that look a little bit different. For one thing, it has 33-inch BFG mud terrain tires, but they're on massive wheels. They actually had to carve out the fenders in order to build this, and what they're calling this is the Jeep Grand Cherokee PHEV concept. They're not calling it a Trailhawk, which is interesting.
So here's the thing. You may have seen a video where I was in person with a plug-in hybrid power plant Grand Cherokee, the new one.
Right.
And I've driven it. Yes.
And?
I did a lot of things with it.
And tell me.
I took it off-road.
Yes.
I towed with it.
Yes.
I cannot tell you about how it drives because on the event I went with many other journalists, we have an embargo until April 19th where I cannot tell you about this, but you will be driving this one.
Yes.
And here's the thing, first of all, really cool design. I love this concept as well.
This is the best looking modern Jeep Grand Cherokee I've seen.
But the factory one, the production version, has 31s. And I'm wondering how they put a bigger tire on this because the front suspension is designed with these kind of A-arms that kind of overhangs the front tire a little bit.
Right, and if they're too big, they'll rub.
Yes, so please get onto this, okay, when you're there.
Yeah, I'm gonna
and drive it.
Yeah, we'll have to extend it full length too, because this has the air suspension and all that. By the way, once again, standard drivetrain. They didn't do anything with the suspension either. It doesn't have anything massive. What they really did do is a lot of stuff with the body.
Yeah.
So all of this has been carved out for these larger wheel wells. And I suspect that the wheel design and tire design, which Jeep doesn't normally do at these events, was done for clearance. But we'll find out when we get there. So This one, I just think it looks like $1,000,000. I think it looks great.
And also, you can now order, but I think some of them are already being delivered. So the production version hybrid, plug-in hybrid Grand Cherokee, you can actually order them. You can actually get, some of them are already being delivered. So this is real. This is not just concept.
Right. One final thing about this is that because it's a plug-in hybrid, it actually has better range altogether than the Jeep Wrangler 4xe, but it has a very similar powertrain.
Yeah.
And essentially, you're getting up to 25 miles in all-electric mode. This is according to the press release, which dropped today, so I'm allowed to say that.
Yes.
And I'm also allowed to say that I think it looks amazing. I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on it.
We have to talk about this. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's an interesting one. This is the 20th anniversary Jeep Rubicon concept. So it's called the Jeep Rubicon 20th anniversary concept. Why 20th anniversary? Because obviously Wranglers have been around longer. The name Rubicon. That started 20 years ago. And they specifically said, we want vehicles that can handle the Rubicon Trail to have that name. As such, that's what they put on here. However,
Has it really been 20 years?
yes.
Yes.
I know. And
The summer of 2002 is when the original Rubicon came out. Yeah, wow.
Now, there are other Rubicon names out there, by the way, but we're just talking about Jeep using it in terms of their lexicon and what they're putting out there. This is essentially a 392. This is the 470 horsepower, 470 pound-feet of torque beast. So it's not all that different. Other than paint, they did add an additional 2-inch lift, 17-inch Mopar beadlock capable wheels, 37-inch mud terrain tires, and they've got a whole bunch of stuff on there, including the steel bumpers and da-da-da-da. It really is just a 392 that just has been gussied up.
You know what this 20th anniversary is doing? This, at least this concept, I think it's an answer to what Ford has with the Bronco Raptor. Right, the Bronco Raptor was announced. It's out there. It's coming later this year.
Right.
With 37s. This is 37, and this got a giant V8 under the hood.
That is true. And what we don't know for sure yet is whether or not this actual vehicle will come out, but I have a feeling this is very close to production.
Yeah, and actually, you could probably do this yourself.
You could do
like
this
you
yourself,
said, with a lift from JPP and some extra tires. You could probably do this yourself.
Everything you're seeing here can be done by you. Granted, it would probably be very expensive. So
these are highly sought after, and unfortunately, markups are there.
oh my God, yeah, the 392s. Oh, the Birdcage.
Yeah, so really quick, I think we've been talking for like an hour.
It feels like it. And our cameraman's going to kill us. But we can quickly talk about this one. Now, this is the Rubicon Birdcage concept. And the whole purpose of this is a JPP, Jeep Performance Parts, rolling showcase. Everything on here either will be, might be, or is available through JPP. So these components, for the most part, can be put on. And the unique part about this vehicle is the fact that they remove the windshield. They actually have a shroud.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, and they actually have a shroud over where the windshield wipers would go. So that has been all pulled off. And they have this massive roof integrated cage going through there.
Hence the Birdcage?
Exactly.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I was wondering why it was called the Birdcage.
Yeah, this thing is, it's quite a vehicle. 37 inches, once again, with the tires. So they're really pushing the 37s on almost everything they have there. This one has Fox shocks, which, by the way, this is an industry first for JPP to have their 2-inch lift with Fox shocks. So they're moving over to the Fox world as well.
Okay.
But there is something important which I want you to see right there. Stop.
What? Oh, is it the plug-in?
Yeah.
Oh, it is also also blue hooks, right? So it is a plug-in hybrid power
Right.
plant.
So what I think Jeep is
You could
doing.
see it right there.
There it goes. Jeep is trying to really push the whole 4xe thing, and I get it because I mean they're torque monsters. And in this package, they're showing off a lot of what they can do. One thing, though, that you should know, and I think we've covered the main body of vehicles. There's other ones.
That's it.
Yeah, but there's 3 other vehicles that are going to be there as well. And I just wanted to show this one, which is the Jeep Kaiser. It's the M725 concept. This popped up originally at the SEMA show for 2021.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah,
Right.
It was cool.
Yeah, and this turns into like kind of an RV. And unfortunately, during SEMA, nobody was able to drive it.
No, I wasn't.
But
What?
they're bringing this and 2 of its brothers over to Easter Jeep Safari as well. So we will be getting behind the wheel of this.
Sweet. So once again, just coming in a few days.
Yes.
TFL Off-Road channel will be loaded with a lot of videos of you guys driving.
Yeah, we may bounce around to a couple other channels too.
Yeah, and then what I'm doing is actually I'm going to the New York Auto Show.
That's right. So you're going to be
with
hitting
Alex.
yes. So you guys are
So-
going to be turning that town red.
So on Monday or Sunday and Monday, you guys are going to be loading up videos. On Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm going to be loading up videos on TFL Now channel and some others as well. So stay tuned because there's going to be a kind of a tsunami, if I can say.
Yes, there's a ton of stuff coming your way. A lot of Jeep stuff. Basically,
Okay.
Jeep Week's coming up, but on top of that, Andre at the New York Auto Show, and there's a ton of stuff, really interesting, buzzy type stuff
Yeah.
that we're looking forward to Andre covering.
Thank you. TFL-studios.com is one-stop shop for all this stuff. TFL-studios.com.